or something, and then you just draw this artifact that you randomly put in your deck, and you don't have an Acceleradium in play, and you're just like, okay, well, I have some of the pieces, but not all the pieces. Once Portalcraft gets more refined, gets a bigger card base, I think it will be one of the most formidable decks in the game. Absolutely.
Yeah, at least the artifacts make adorable noises at you.
That they do. Ooh! And another successful player playing, what is this? Not Dragon, not Shadow,
but Haven. And he's got
Forest
in the pack pocket that got banned.
I wonder what this Runecraft deck is. Probably Burn Runecraft, but hopefully it's something different.
He brought Dimension Shift back from Unlimited.
No, can't do that. That's big cheats. We will not.
We
allow
will
this.
investigate if that's the actual case. What's going on here?
Very board positive play with a Princess Snow White here into a Gemstone Carapace. Now, funny enough, Black Inscripture is not as good against Dragon as it used to be. I don't know. What did he?
Fantasy, what are you eating? Fantasy, can I have some?
He's getting his sugar levels up, okay? He needs to keep the energy up. This has been a long day for these players.
Yeah, they have. They've been playing an entire double elimination bracket. I think there were like 128 players today.
Yep, we maxed out, I think.
Lots of rounds.
And it's going to be like that every week. I mean, it's like we said, this is going to be a time investment for those of you who do want to carry on for the entire season. But, I mean, well worth it, right? I mean, you're talking about little roadblocks of $6,500 you can win, all the way up to $1 million. You know, if your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your significant other is like, get off that game, be like, I got $1 million to win.
You should get on this game with me.
Yeah, you should be playing too. What are you doing?
Help me get this money. Oh, man. Could you imagine if you won all the seasons, if you won every single season this year and then the World Grand Prix, you could get every single animated card in Shadowverse.
Oh, you definitely
could. All the
if you spent it all back into Shadowverse, you would have animated everything. Wow. We had I'm not gonna name any names, but we had a couple people break I think $45,000-$50,000 in Shadowverse winnings last year. And that's before we're even talking about
I thought you said
thing.
spending on Shadowverse.
Spending.
I was about to say,
no.
my God.
I guarantee you there are players that have.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been on the ladder playing against people that do have all animated decks before. And I guarantee you they have spent a high number of dollars getting there.
One day I'll have that.
All right, so we're reaching a point in the game where LLDV has substantial board, but not really any endgame or anything to push him into a victory here. We don't see a summit. We don't see any Heavenly Knights.
It looks like a much more traditional Haven list.
Yes.
You know, of course, there are a lot of shared cards, but things that tip me off are things like March Hares, Retribution.
Very, very honest up the curve. No, not so honest. I mean, you are drawing cards and banishing things without using Evolution Orbs and things like that, but no Summit Temples, no Heavenly Knights, and so far, no even Aether of the White Wings to pull anything crazy out.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what the top end of this deck is. Where are we going? Where are you taking us, LLDV? Ooh. I mean, this is probably one of the least affected boards by Israfil, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kill one thing. I don't believe Fantasy is going to evolve here to clear out any more of this board. He might, but this isn't a Dark John scary board, so yeah.
Oh, he does have the Heavenly
Knight. Okay. Now, one thing I will mention, March Hare's Tea Time plays really nice with Aether of the White Wing. Also plays really nice with Heavenly Knight because it sticks around for so long.
Yes.
It's finally a good benefit of that having 4 countdown is that you can actually just keep it in play on turn 5 and eventually play your Heavenly Knight, and it will almost always have Storm.
Such pain. Crystals of snow.
All right. This is rough. I feel like the aggression has nearly closed out the game. Trying to heal up and spending the last Evolution Orb here. That's a good board wipe.
This is pretty good here. Yeah. Attack Snow White. Easy peasy.
You've got 2 damage left on board.
Possible 3 more, so 5 damage. However, after that 5 damage, what else can LLDV do? Not much, unfortunately.
I would almost just keep setting up Snow Whites.
I think you have to. I think you just got to keep dealing damage. like we said, these amulets will be sticking around for playing the extra amulet here.
Oh boy, that is a lot of storm damage then. This all of a sudden got way scarier for fantasy.
But board locking
Oh no!
has always been the bane of Haven, and playing that extra globe there,
no!
I think.
Oh, he's got the what?
Oh,
That has to be a
okay.
one of. That
Never
has
mind.
to be
Never
a one
mind.
of. That can't.
Pro LLDV was like, you thought you had me board locked. These are just mind games, my friend.
Interesting. I guess he doesn't want it to get Bahamutted out, but he could have done more damage if he played the Summon's Temple. Huh?
I think this is sweet. This is so sweet. I've not seen a Hollow Dogma in a Haven deck in a long time. And you know what? Just goes to show you, it exists for a reason. Now, LLDV did not know he had access to Hollow Dogma before he board filled, though.
Yes.
So he kind of got lucky to draw into that.
Yeah, he really pushed that one. He could have thrown away a Snow White for it, but still, like, not being able to pop the Tribunal was a big thing.
Right. Absolutely true.
All right. So there goes the Heavenly Knight.
Heavenly Knight up the top.
So you have 4 damage here if you play the Summon's Temple.
Oh!
My God! What? Are we playing the same game? Can you choose which cards you draw?
Haven taking down another opponent, and Rainey, there wasn't a Summit Temple in there, so there was no option for that. That was another
there was not?
Gemstone Carapace.
Oh, sorry. They
Yeah,
look kind of
okay,
similar
though.
to me from here.
But unreal. Look at it, Haven. Okay, Haven. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Yeah.
Haven. Wow. Why aren't you playing Haven?
Yeah.
And this, I'm talking to you, audience. Hey, chat. If you're playing Haven, I want you to tell everybody else in chat that you are a Haven player and that you're just that much better than they are.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Haven's pretty good.
Yep.
Haven's pretty good. I'm gonna go find a picture of Summon's Temple just to. I just see like the kind of like
Yeah,
darkish background.
it's like darkish.
Okay,
It's kind of
yeah.
like wavy with some
Yeah.
triangles in the back.
I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's.
Yeah,
I just need to get my glasses checked.
I think so.
Yeah. LLDV now on the Runecraft deck, and Fantasy has to figure out how to make it work. He's on the verge of elimination.
What kind of Runecraft deck is it?
It's Daria.
Oh, it's a Daria leader. And
Time to shine, Daria.
Burn Rune. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not.
That's weird.
This is Dirt Rune, but he is playing Illusionist, and
Interesting. He kept the Mysteria.
yeah, and
Oh.
multiple Mysterias. Okay, maybe this is more of like the flashy Burn Rune with like magic missiles
Yeah.
and
He made it this far with this deck. I wanted to see the games that he won.
what? Okay.
Uh-huh.
He's playing a couple different new cards that we have not seen in our Burn Runecraft deck so far. This is a very high curve, though.
Wow.
Very high curve.
He is very content with going later into the game.
Very content. Yep.
Professor of Taboos, which is typically the control-oriented pick.
Yeah, so maybe this is a control deck that tries to close the game out with the 2 cards that we see in hand right now. Interesting.
Huh. Skull Ring.
I have not seen this deck yet. I've seen
I'm very curious.
I've seen Mysteria played, as like a one-of here and there in like Burn Rune decks, but I've not seen it being a focal point of any of the Runecraft decks yet, especially along with this new Runecraft card that they got, which basically breaks all sigils in play in hand and gives you a bunch of burn spells, which is really cool as a late-game effect.
Yeah. The last time we had a similar kind of effect was with, I believe, Hulking Giant.
That's
what
right.
the card is called, and people really didn't like how that card played. I think they just couldn't find.
I wanted to love Hulking Giant. I wanted to love it so much, especially with Ariat. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you any advantage back after getting rid of all of your sigils.
Yeah.
So if they can deal with the Hulking Giant, you just kind of lose.
I think the burn spells might be a little easier to justify, just because there's not a lot of ways to not be able to use them.
Right.
But it does demand that you build a lot of sigils and not actually. Does it take from board as well?
I believe it takes from board and from hand.
Okay, so that actually is
Let
very
me
good.
share my wisdom.
That animation's pretty sick.
Look at that. Colors.
That's sweet.
I love colors.
And the Daria leader, LLDV might be a new player, but he's not new at opening packs. I'll tell you that much. Friggin' people, they're Daria leaders. Oh my goodness, so jelly.
Multiple legendaries. Just
Stop it. All right, but Fantasy putting up a very good aggressive board here.
To be fair, liquefying your card, you can build a wide variety of decks.
Yeah.
But the Daria leader,
The leaders, man.
This
This
guy's
is
a
what
fan.
I'm missing.
I would categorize him as a fan.
Yeah.
A hardcore fan.
All right, and Professor of Taboo's not looking as good as Master Mage Levi here, but could be better depending on what it hits here. Could also just play Mysteria, but yeah, need to start taking control of this board again. This is an issue. We don't really know what LLDV has access to, right? Is he playing Mutagenic Bolts? Is he playing...
What are his outs?
Yeah, what are his outs here?
Oh,
no! Come on.
Fantasy was pleased about that one.
Yep, he's like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, after your top decking last game,
Yeah,
what goes around comes around at some point.
that's right.
Ooh,
And now he's
good. Oh,
just got all of the options.
Yes.
And it does not look like LLDV does. If he can manage to pull this game out, though, I needed to copy this deck if he can win this one.
I still think there's probably some situation that LLDV is looking for. I think it's rough. I wonder how many options he has around the 5, 6, 7 play point territory to turn boards around in this scenario. Because that definitely seems to be the missing piece here.
Yeah.
He's just not been able at those few turns to make something significant happen. I mean, you already played one Mysteria, which is not the most fantastic swing.
Right. And honestly, we haven't seen him have any burn spells outside of the legendary card in his hand that produces burn spells.
In fact, his opponent's still at 20.
Yeah. Interesting mix. I mean, maybe this is just a really hard control deck, and then that's actually just the end game. But it would be, in my mind, hard to justify him playing Mysteria without having, like, you know, a package of burn. Maybe he's just drawing really poorly this game with it, but, well, I mean, we'll at least be able to see it one more game if he loses here.
Show us the Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is this an Abomination Awakened deck? You know, like, we don't know yet.
Okay. Is he going to try to... Oh, wow. Are you dead? I think Hector just closes this out, right?
Let's see. We've got 5, 6. Well, it depends on what he hits with this. So we've got 5, 6 plus 6 is 12. That's game.
This guy is still very strong. There it is. Immediately playing it out. Of course. Now we're going to the final game. Mysteria versus Dragoncraft.
I don't know. We've got to see what else the deck has to offer. So far, all we know is that it's very heavy mid-range Dirt Rune that has Mysterias and a legendary that uses Mysteria, but we don't really know anything outside of that. I don't think you play Sammy in a deck that doesn't play Abomination Awakened, so I want to assume that's in the deck, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, well, maybe there's a number of other cards that are fantastic, things that Aya Senpai really likes that do involve Sammys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I usually, you see Sammys in the same deck you would see Mysterian Grimoires in, or Mysterious Grimoire, and then you play like Abomination Awakened, or you play like really heavy neutral package with Sahaquills and Bahamut's and Israfils and things like that. This deck is not doing most of those things as we know so far. So
we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll see it in the mulligan here.
I mean,
I'm just so
beat
curious.
Jay-Z with it.
Yeah.
I want to know what this is.
Well, to be fair, I would assume that Jay-Z probably played a very late game package, and this Runecraft deck he let the Runecraft deck play out its plan.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's what went on. So we already know the Silverblade Golem exists. Probably throw that away.
Okay, so there are piercing runes. So there are some burn spells in here. And as far as card draw is concerned, all I can think of right now is Telescope and...
What?
Huh. I guess you don't really need the piercing runes. He keeps the Silverblade Golem in hand, though.
That's that important to him that given the opportunity, like the percentage to have an 8 play point card at 8 is significantly higher.
We've seen this in times past. I remember very specifically a game where Potwasher kept 2 Crystalia Errands in his hand against Dragon. Just like sometimes players just think they know their matchup so specifically well that they just have it. And you know what? If I remember correctly, Potwasher did win that game. So, LLDV maybe have some, like, just what we talked about, some way to win the games and, in their own way.
He knows that the Silverblade Golem is the critical part of it.
That's the critical part.
Yeah. Interesting. So we should look towards that 8 play point territory and around it to see what LLDV does to try to build himself the opportunity to play it, or if he even can play it.
I really like Nova Flare. I mean, I talked a little bit about Nova Flare earlier. I think Nova Flare is a great card in the format right now. I think it does exactly what you need it to do for the cost you need it to, and especially with Mysteria. Just gets more value over time.
Yeah. Yes. So this deck is starting to shape up. We're getting a few more pieces of the puzzle. But I like it. There's Sammy.
Yeah. Wait for both players to draw cards. So you have to know that card advantage means infinitely more to you than your opponent to play a card like Sammy.
Oh boy, that's a tough one. Starseer's Telescope does have the Earth Rain effect on it.
It does. It's drawing another card if he wants to filter. I think this is a hand you can filter with. He's already got an extra Earth Essence in hand. However, maybe sacrificing extra Earth Essences is not what you want to be doing with Silverblade Golem, specifically if you kept it in your opening hand. So, very interesting. Like, I honestly don't even know what the correct play for LLDV is because I'm not sure what he's trying to do
What is the context? Yeah. Interesting.
And I'm assuming the next 2 turns we're just going to see Mysteria's played out.
Or the Taboo if he needs it.
Yep. Okay, Fantasy just doing what he can, right? Doing what Dragon does. Draw some cards.
Wow. He identifies that he really, really does not want to take 3.
And it's interesting. It's probably a good play. I mean, if we're talking about setting up for like some crazy burn turns, saving any defense that you can throughout the game, probably well worth it. Just like against burn rune crafts.
Oh boy, I would imagine you filter some of this stuff, right?
I guess not. It's all damage, man.
Interesting. I mean, if you have enough burn spells by the time you play that Silverblade Golem, you could just maybe shut the door out the turn after.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe the telescopes are in there for more aggressive matchups, and against Dragoncraft, you just want to have all the burn you can because of all the healing that Dragon can produce.
You're going to be doing a lot of damage if you play double Mysteria, too.
And I like that Fantasy is correct. Like, this is the thing that I love with Dragoncraft these days. Like, get your damage in. Play your Azi-Dahakas, play your Zeuses, use your Sockwills with your Zeuses. Just start getting the damage in there. Don't let your opponent get
Did he
set
draw
up.
another Telescope?
Still not playing any of them. Wow.
Interesting.
I need to see this. I don't know how it's going to win fast enough, though. Because if I remember correctly, it puts 2 cost 3 damage spells in your hand, kind of like the old Thornburst did.
I believe you are correct. Okay. That's a lot of damage. I mean, Are you dead?
I mean, a Queen of the Dreadsea off the top is an instant win at this point.
So he has 8 damage at the most, right, from Azi-Dahaka. 8. You need to...
Yeah, you gotta do something.
Oh, boy.
I mean, all these telescopes are great to turn into damage spells, but, like, yeah, you just have to get there. Like, still not able to play the Silverblade Golem. Yeah, I don't know. This reminds me, and, some of you in chat might remember this, or remember this player. Actually, we won't go into the player, but, like, there used to be a player that used to play very late-game, end-game decks, the most grindy decks that you've ever seen. He would make rune decks that nobody else would play, just control runecraft, you know what I mean, with like Call of Casitas and like just Bahamut's and like crazy stuff. And he would just get there, you know what I mean? But when he got to the top tables, every time you saw him draw a hand, it would just be like, what? What does this deck even do? That's what it's feeling like. I bet you if we watched every single one of LLDV's games throughout the day, it would have been like, man, this deck is so impressive.
Yeah.
And then we see him get to this stage, and it's just like, what? What?
All right. Okay. So we've got another Mysteria down. But I feel like there's not enough turns to even execute your plan.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Especially because at any given point, these Ishlarfils can come down and just heal Fantasy right back up. Now, I'm not a big fan of. Okay, never mind. I'm a huge fan of this play.
Yes.
I was like, if he doesn't produce something that's going to damage this turn, I don't like it. You need to be closing the door quickly.
Oh God, that is terrifying. And there's, yeah.
Yeah, like what?
Can't play it on 8.
can't do it.
Nova Flare.
Nova
It does
Flare,
a lot
Nova
of
Flare.
damage.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
4 damage Nova Flares are pretty sweet.
Yeah, but now the Zeus comes
now
down.
Zeus.
And he closes it out, and Fantasy lives to see another round in the tournament.
And LLDV will be our second competitor to earn 3,500 vials today.
I have to know what was in that.
Oh, we've got to look at it afterwards.
I have to know. But congratulations to Fantasy, and congratulations to LLDV as well for making it this far, and defeating Jay-Z, too.
Yeah.